here, as is well known, was Voltaire, who already perhaps, like his successors, knew how to disguise his hatred of certain men and things as pity towards animals. At least Wagner's hatred of science, which manifests itself in his preaching, has certainly not been inspired by the spirit of charitableness and kindness, nor by the spirit at all, as is sufficiently obvious. Finally, it is of little importance what the philosophy of an artist is, provided it is only a supplementary philosophy and does not do any injury to his art itself. We cannot be sufficiently on our guard against taking a dislike to an artist on account of an occasional, perhaps very unfortunate and presumptuous masquerade. Let us not forget that the dear artists are all of them something of actors, and must be so. It would be difficult for them to hold out in the long run without stage playing. Let us be loyal to Wagner in that which is true and original in him, and especially in this point, that we, his disciples, remain loyal to ourselves in that which is true and original in us. Let us allow him his intellectual humours and spasms. Let us in fairness rather consider what strange nutriments and necessaries an art like his is entitled to, in order to be able to live and grow. It is of no account that he is often wrong as a thinker. Justice and patience are not his affair. It is sufficient that his life is right in his own eyes, and maintains its right. The life which calls to each of us, "Be a man, and do not follow me, but thyself, thyself," our life also ought to maintain its right in our own eyes. We also are to grow and blossom out of ourselves, free and fearless, in innocent selfishness. And so, on the contemplation of such a man, these thoughts still ring in my ears to-day as formerly, that passion is better than stoicism or hypocrisy, that straightforwardness, even in evil, is better than losing oneself in trying to observe traditional morality, that the free man is just as able to be good as evil, but that the unemancipated man is a disgrace to nature, and has no share in heavenly or earthly bliss. Finally, that all who wish to be free must become so through themselves, and that freedom falls to nobody's lot as a gift from heaven. Richard Wagner in Bayreuth, Volume 1 of this translation, pages 199 to 200.
100. Learning to do homage. One must learn the art of homage, as well as the art of contempt. Whoever goes into new paths, and has led many persons therein, discovers with astonishment how awkward and incompetent all of them are in the expression of their gratitude. And indeed, how rarely gratitude is able even to express itself. It is always as if something comes into people's throats when their gratitude wants to speak, so that it only hums and haws, and becomes silent again. The way in which a thinker succeeds in tracing the effect of his thoughts and their transforming and convulsing power is almost a comedy. It sometimes seems as if those who have been operated upon felt profoundly injured thereby, and could only assert their independence, which they suspect to be threatened by all kinds of improprieties. It needs whole generations in order merely to devise a courteous convention of gratefulness. It is only very late that the period arrives when something of spirit and genius enters into gratitude. Then there is usually someone who is the great receiver of thanks, not only for the good he himself has done, but mostly for that which has been gradually accumulated by his predecessors as a treasure of what is highest and best. 101.
Voltaire.
Wherever there has been a court, it has furnished the standard of good speaking, and with this also the standard of style for writers. The court language, however, is the language of the courtier who has no profession, and who even in conversations on scientific subjects avoids all convenient technical expressions, because they smack of the profession. On that account, the technical expression, and everything betrays the specialist, is a blemish of style in countries which have a court culture. At present, when all courts have become caricatures of past and present times,
one is astonished to find even Voltaire unspeakably reserved and scrupulous on this point.
For example, in his judgments concerning such stylists as Fontenelle and Montesquieu. We are now all of us emancipated from court taste,
while Voltaire was its perfecter.
102. A word for philologists.
It is thought that there are books so valuable and royal,
that whole generations of scholars are well employed when through their efforts these books are kept genuine and intelligible. To confirm this belief again and again is the purpose of philology. It presupposes that the rare men are not lacking, although they may not be visible, who actually knows how to use such valuable books. Those men, perhaps, who write such books themselves, or could write them. I mean to say that philologists presuppose a noble belief,
that for the benefit of some few who are always
"to come," and are not there,
a very great amount of painful
and even dirty labour has to be done beforehand. It is all labour in usum delphinorum. 103. German music. German music, more than any other, has now become European music, because the changes which Europe experienced through the Revolution have therein alone found expression. It is only German music that knows how to express the agitation of popular masses, the tremendous artificial uproar, which does not even need to be very noisy, while Italian opera, for example, knows only the choruses of domestics or soldiers, but not "the people." There is the additional fact that in all German music a profound bourgeois jealousy of the noblesse can be traced, especially a jealousy of esprit and elegance, as the expressions of a courtly, chivalrous, ancient and self-confident society.
It is not music like that of Goethe's musician at the gate,
which was pleasing also "in the hall," and to the king as well. It is not here said, "the knights looked on with martial air, with bashful eyes the ladies." Even the graces are not allowed in German music without a touch of remorse. It is only with pleasantness, the country sister of the graces, that the German begins to feel morally at ease. And from this point up to his enthusiastic, learned, and often gruff "sublimity," the Beethoven-like sublimity, he feels more and more so. If we want to imagine the man of this music, well, let us imagine Beethoven as he appeared beside Goethe, say at their meeting at Teplitz, as semi-barbarian beside culture, as the masses beside the nobility,
as the good-natured man besides the good, and more than "good."